entirety of Google Images that actually is referring to the thing I'm talking about.
Well, it seems like you are a trendsetter and that you're the first person to ever discover it, because the internet doesn't know, Aubrey.
Yeah, nobody else must
So,
have ever bought these. I must have been the only person who ever bought them.
yeah, I think so. You're the first one. You're really supporting local business right now, Aubrey. So this guy, this kid guy, the guy kid that's married to Megan Trainor.
Yeah, Junie from Spy Kids,
Junie.
Butterfinger.
Okay, what's his name? What's his name though?
Again, I told you, I don't know his real name. I always call him Junie from Spy Kids, but I can look it up if you'd like.
Spouse.
I'm gonna look
no,
this up, and I will tell you right now. I'm gonna
it.
read it, and I'm gonna erase it from my brain.
Okay, well, tell me right now, because I also got it. You'll say it at the same
Junie
time.
Cortez is played by Daryl Sabra.
We were gonna say it at the
with the exception of one of the Spy Kids movies, Spy Kids Mission Critical, in which he plays Junie. But probably because that came out in 2018 and is animated.
Yeah.
Still think they could have had real Junie play Junie, but
they could have. I mean, his voice would definitely sound different by that point, though. He's like a grown-ass man now.
You're a grown-ass man. Do you not have a voice prepared if you were going to voice a kid? Maybe it's because I'm a lady, so a lot of ladies do voice young boys.
Here's the thing. Yes, for like a random kid, but walk up here and act like you think you could perfectly recreate your childhood voice.
Oh, I couldn't create my childhood voice.
Well, that's
but
what they would
give
need.
you like I could do something for a character like Bart Simpson or Timmy Turner. I could do something for a Lisa Simpson or like, I'm not saying I can do these impressions. I'm just saying like those kind of characters. I think I can do it. But that's always like, I grew up being obsessed with Powerpuff Girls, and one of the ladies that voice acts in the Powerpuff Girls is like my idol.
No, I think we.
What is her name? I want to make sure.
Have we mentioned this on the podcast? We've probably said it all on the podcast at this point. What does it matter?
You're probably right. Tara Strong.
Tara Strong, yeah.
So shout out to Tara Strong. My boyfriend gave me a heart attack the other day. He said, I heard something happened to Tara Strong. And I was like, no,
and
not on my earth.
Something happened
not
to
on
you.
my lifetime.
Something happened to you because something almost happened to Tara Strong.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, doesn't this guy kind of look like Peter Parker? A little bit? Like the original one?
You're saying you think he looks like original Peter Parker in the comics, or he looks like Tobey Maguire?
He looks like Tobey Maguire.
No, he does not. But I will also say Tobey Maguire exists in my pool of men that I am ridiculously attracted to for no discernible reason.
Okay, well, fucking, I just, like, look at that.
You see what Tobey Maguire looked like in that Babylon movie?
No, actually,
I didn't watch the movie, but I saw him in the trailer, and I was like, now I kind of want to see it. But I hear it was, like, ungodly long. And I'm just not. I saw Into the Woods, and that was too long.
Okay, knowing that it's ungodly long actually gives me some hope that movie actually has some decent plot to it. Because I really did think it was going to be just like a fucking fake Great Gatsby or something. But maybe that's my bad. Maybe I judged it too quickly. But if it's long, if it's really long, that means that they must have shoved some plot in there somewhere, right?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Can't.
I mean, surely somewhere. I mean, maybe we'll watch it.
It can't.
I'm trying to get Mason back to those movie reviews.
Yeah.
I have one specifically that I would like us to do.
Is it another fucking horror movie?
No, it's not. We'll take a break from Saw for the moment. But I would love to revisit my all-time favorite movie, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Okay, we better take a break from Saw, you asshole. Yeah, we definitely, we can watch that movie. That movie's not scary. That movie's funny.
Yeah, and I think there's so much about it that is funny and interesting, and like especially like the cast. If anybody has seen that movie and knows of the cast, like there are literally one of them's an Oscar award winner now, and one of them has been in a fuck ton of Marvel movies, and pretty much everybody in that movie has gone on to do some really cool things. A lot of them had done cool things before too, but it's just like crazy to watch it now and be like, damn, when I first saw this movie, I didn't realize that any of these people other than Michael Cera were important. Like,
yeah, it's I mean, it definitely shines that it's a Warner Brothers picture at the end of the day.
oh yeah,
because they got Warner Brothers pulls.
I think it's one of the only movies to get a video game aesthetic down. Like, I'm not a big fan of like Ready Player One or I mean, okay, Spy Kids Game Over when it came out was very much like the video games we were playing at the time, but I think Scott Pilgrim does a great job with the classic video games. But that's, again, topic for another time. We will visit that in the future.
Yeah, come on. You know how many times we've talked about Michael Cera on this podcast, right?
Oh, I mean, probably more than
I'm pretty sure I have
more than Tobias from Arrested Development.
And that's a problem. And it's David Spade, actually.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think. It's hard.
No, it's David Cross, actually.
It's David Cross, yeah. That's the thing, is I can always remember David, but I never remember what the last name is, so I just would rather call him Tobias than get it completely wrong.
That's fair. Also, I haven't leaned so far into my mic that I honestly need to turn this gain down even more. Right. Let's try that.
All right, well, welcome back to another episode of What Are We Talking About?
Yeah, that's... sorry.
I'm your host with the 90s children's plastic witch fingers, Aubrey.
And I am not willing to put on fingernails for an intro bit, and very sorry that we are late. Mason.
Welcome back.
Hello!
Sorry for our little break. It's been a hectic time.
We both are doing theater shit, and it's been taking up a lot more time than expected. But mine's over now. It went well. I did a good job. Don't look
Mine is approaching. We're approaching our 2 nights of performances, and we're doing so far. I was last night was tech, and I was really impressed. I was really scared though for like a few days beforehand. I was like, everything's gonna be horrible, everything's gonna go completely wrong, because I don't know, it just feels like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, but then I don't think I had a single kid who was not off book. Like, pretty much all the kids knew their lines. And
yeah, that's really impressive.
I did my job!
That's really impressive, actually.
And,
anyway.
One of my friends who's helping me, she said, I think I scared them in the last one, so that's why they had those lines memorized. And I was like, yeah, well, thank you for that.
Anyway, we don't talk about real shit on this podcast, so, you want to go first, or am I going first?
Unknown.
Yeah.
I would like you to go first, but...
Okay.
Can we pause this recording so... Alright.
What an interruption. Alright, so I'm just ready to go. We're just going for it. Today's gonna be there's gonna be a mild hint of ASMR for the next 10 seconds as I demonstrate what my topic sounds like.
Oh, I should have got mine. Oh, I like that sound.
Yeah, those are D&D. Those are D&D dice, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm talking about an old nerdy favorite. Check these bad boys out. I got a fountain of green, orange, red, and turquoise.
Because of you, Mason, I can say that I knew about Dungeons and Dragons and played it before Stranger Things.
You're welcome, Aubrey.
I know. I don't have to be one of those fake ass posers, bro.
You got in before the poser line. You are.
It's what I will say. Like, it is. While I don't like the the amount of like rush to play Dungeons and Dragons by all these people with Stranger Things. I think it's really cool that it's made it more mainstream, and like I don't think you get made fun of for playing it like people used to, you know?
It's just another one of those things. The other one happened in our lifetime too, Aubrey. We were just pretty damn young when it happened.
What was that?
The switch from video games being super niche, nerdy things to a very mainstream thing. And honestly, the same thing happened with it, where I think probably forms of media started to glorify video gaming more and normalize it.
It's interesting you say that video games are considered that, because now I'm thinking about it, and like I always grew up with computer games, like playing games on the computer. My parents bought me all those Jumpstart CD-ROMs, like early childhood education stuff, and that's what the stuff that they would let me play. So, and then I grew up watching my dad play the Medal of Honor games and The Sims. He got The Sims when it came out, and I remember being like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I can't wait to play it. So it's weird that you say that, like, because my whole life video games have been cool to me, but I guess there are losers out there who didn't think so.
Yep. Well, and like I said, we were very young whenever like this finally started to take place. It was like very late 90s.
So I guess something in my lifetime that I would liken to the D&D acceptance is when I was younger, I was really into anime and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't a full-blown weeaboo, but I was like fascinated by Japanese culture and anime and all of this stuff. And I got tortured at school for that. Hey. And now everybody watches anime. And I'm like, I just need a moment of silence for the child that was bullied about liking Asian stuff, okay?
Yeah, Aubrey, I literally didn't get into anime until college because of the same thing, so fuck you. I skipped that.
I think had that not happened to me, cool. I could have been like some amazing anime artist, because when I was younger, I had all the books and I wanted to do all that, and then I was just like, I can never let anyone see me do this because they're gonna say something and be mean about it.
I used to love to draw dragons and monsters when I was a little kid, but there was a kid in my art class who was better at drawing dragons than me, so I gave it all up.
Well, to any like, kids listening, first of all, you shouldn't be. And second of all, always, whatever your hobbies are, they're fucking cool. Even if no one else around you thinks it's cool, that shit's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. Like, and don't let anyone else yuck your yum. Like, I think that's the most important, like, adult lesson I learned is, like, once I got out of, you know, the private school bubble of elementary through high school and I got to college, I realized, oh my gosh, there's a ton of people out there who like all the same stuff as me. And they think it's cool, and they're not gonna call me names because I want to watch an animated show.
Yeah.
So...
honestly, the phrase that always helped me whenever I was younger was not everybody walks the same path in the same amount of steps. Like, it all takes us a different amount of time to get to different places in our life. Just because someone is excellent at something whenever they're 10 and you're like okay doesn't mean that you both can't be the same amount of good like in like 10 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're one of those guys that I went to school with that gave me a hard time about all that stuff. We're like really close friends now. He came to me a couple years ago and was like, hey, I feel like you don't like me and I'm really sorry for how I treated you in the past. And I was like, I liked you as a person, I just didn't think that you ever felt sorry. And so now that I know that you are, like, yeah, let's be friends, man. Like, I think we have a lot in common, and we do. And so I don't know, I'm very open-minded towards these people. Like, I always hope to like reconnect and become friends with people, but you know, like, I also don't put that expectation on anyone because you never know. But anyways,
okay,
D&D.
Yeah. Enough giving proper real advice, and now time to talk about these boys. Enough of that. Enough of this. These guys, these D&D dice. What consists of D&D dice? I'm sure most anybody has seen like a picture of like a giant pile of like assorted different polyhedron shapes. Yeah, I think I said that right. Polyhedral shapes? Yes, I think that's what it is. They consist of a d6, which is d die 6 is how many sides it has. A d6 is the one that everyone knows. It's the 6-sided die, 1 to 6. It's in almost every board game. It does get used a lot in the game too, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the dice, not the game. It plain and simple. It makes sense. Then there's one below it. There's the D4. If I can find one, find a pretty one that is. This guy. It's like a little pyramid, but it was made by a machine and not by slaves. So it's got that going for it. And it has 4 sides, but like the way it falls is like the top usually. The point that's sticking up is the number. Sometimes they can be confusing, but I think they're very cool. Also, very good caltrops if you're trying to do some Home Alone shenanigans.
Speaking of man-made dice that are, ethically sourced and not made by, bad labor practices, there has been a huge, surge in people creating and selling dice on TikTok and stuff, like resin molds. There are people who have built... Oh, I saw this gorgeous, it was like a giant, I don't know if it was a D100 or if it was a big D20. But inside they had put, this, cave scape with, moss and trees. Oh, it was gorgeous. Obviously, that's more of, a showpiece than one you would use because it'd be weighted. But there are some amazing dice that I've seen. Also, have you heard of Roll for Sandwich?
What? No.
It is my favorite D&D thing I've come across on TikTok. There's this...
Okay. Well, while you tell everyone about that instead of me, I'm gonna get some water in the background.
Well, okay. All right. So, if you don't know what Roll for Sandwich is, this guy on TikTok who I believe the account name is Adventures in Aradia. Let me make sure I have that. Adventures in Ardia. That's Aardia. And this delightful man makes sandwiches, not every day of the week, but about half the days of the week. And he has a dice roll for each part of the sandwich. For bread, for the protein, for the condiments, for the extra little add-ins. And then at the end, he does one for wild magic, which will be a bunch of random stuff. And sometimes he makes sandwiches that honestly bomb.com and you wouldn't have thought so. Or he makes a sandwich that's literal dog shit, but it's still fun to see if he can make it through the whole thing, because he really does eat the whole sandwich every time. So props to this man, because I could not do that. But I always enjoy, I think he does Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, so I enjoy getting on TikTok, and that's always on my For You page because I follow him, interact with the videos. He's delightful, and I'm really happy to see that he's been able to make this kind of his career, because it's cute and it's cool. And there's even people that have been inspired and done things like Roll for Cereal, and the guy does different cereal stuff, and then he also picks is he gonna watch cartoons or listen to tunes. And I don't know, they're just really cute. I've also seen some people artists do roll for what they're gonna do. So this isn't just unique to the Roll for Sandwich guy. This is something a lot of people roll for their outfits for the day. You can incorporate D&D dice into your everyday life, and who knew? And for someone who doesn't like making decisions, I love that. Yeah?
Sorry, you talked about sandwiches, and I just Remembered I had Uncrustables while I was getting water.
Ooh, Uncrustables.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those things to make it. Oh, I'll
Hey,
also say.
hey! I had a thing.
Okay,
I had a thing. I walked in with I forgot that my cat likes Uncrustables shit. She came over for it. I had absolutely no idea what was going on or what you were talking about whenever I put my headset back on, but then that last sentence completely gave me the context for what you were talking about.
Yeah. He just rolls for a sandwich. All the different parts.
You know, that's very interesting.
He's been able to get brand deals, and like most of them are like D&D related or food related, so that's cool for me because love food related stuff, love D&D related stuff. I'd buy either of these products. Great brand partner. So, but that's one thing I think is really cool about TikTok. I will say, like, yeah, they're probably harvesting all of our data and whatever, and it's probably unsafe, but also small businesses have been able to thrive because of TikTok. Like, people can get their shit out there, and like independent artists, and I love that. That's what I want to see.
That's good for sure.
Yeah.
It's a shame I never remember to open that app, but I'm glad that at least one of us is staying up with the times.
Well, you should open it because I've sent you like a bajillion TikToks, and I think they're all D&D related.
Have you? I guess I have notifications turned on.
Only a few, but over time, I'm sure it adds up.
I see.
Do you have another D&D segue?
I mean, I was like just getting into it. I was on the D4. Next we got the D8, which I'm sure it's the same thing but with 8 sides. Do I even have one of these here? This guy.
Oh, ooh, I like that. That's my favorite set you have.
Yeah.
Those ones.
It's the one with the best story to it, too. Not for now, though. Then there's a D10, which is... These are personally my favorite, because I just think they're so weird and interesting. They're kind of like a...
Yeah, those ones are so odd to me, and I never know really how to read them. Like, I get it's whichever one's facing upwards. It's just my brain does a little, like...
Yeah, it's always a little bit weird, but that's because the 10 is also a 0, so you always have to process it for a second before you're like, oh wait, that's good, not bad.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a 0.
Nat 0.
Yeah, they don't call it that. Then there's a 12. These ones I think are kind of the weird boys, but they're definitely some of the most impressive of the pentagonals.
I like the shapes of those ones.
Yeah. They're very cool. Very definitely some fucking like shape that would like circle around on a screen on a vaporwave music video for sure. Some very otherworldly honeycomb shit. And then we have the creme de creme, the one that everyone knows, the D20. This guy.
He's the best guy.
He's the guy. He's the one.
He's the dude. The dude everybody talks about. He's the most popular guy in school.
He's chillin'. He's the guy who's allowed to wear sunglasses inside because he's so damn cool that he kills the asshole factor.
And
it doesn't matter that it's the 80s. It doesn't matter that it's not the 80s. Because he still he gets touched more than you. This guy.
Yeah.
This guy gets rolled all the fucking time.
Do you watch any like D&D stuff?
Oh, the McElroy boys I used to, but honestly, the podcast, I mean, I'm running a game myself, so I try, right now, at least, I'm trying not to listen to too many podcasts related to it, because I don't want to steal. I'm trying to focus on pulling things from my own brain right now.
Yeah,
but
I haven't like committed to listening to any or watching any super hard, but I do see a lot of like animated clips on TikTok, and I love that. There's one group that there's one they use puppets. They have like little puppets, and it's so freaking cute.
That does sound.
The clips are so
cool.
funny. But I know everyone knows Dimension 20, you know, from Dropout TV. Do you not?
No.
Oh my gosh!
Just because I'm a nerd. I fill my time with
like,
real
you know
shit.
who Brennan Lee Mulligan is, right?
It sounds familiar.
He's like, to me, he is the most famous dungeon master, to me. But I also understand if I were older, it would probably be somebody else. I will go ahead and share my screen real quick. This right here is Mr. Brennan Lee Mulligan. Oh, there he is right there. He does a lot of stuff for Dropout TV, but most specifically he does Dimension 20. And I see a lot of really good clips from him. But the wild thing is, I did not get introduced to Dimension 20 by watching Dimension 20. I got introduced to it by watching another Dropout TV show called Game Changer, which I believe I've shown you, Mason. It's the one where it's a game show, rules change every time. Brennan is a repeat guest on there because the host, Sam Weish, I believe his name is, he loves fucking with Brennan because Brennan is a big, like, he is a character of a person. Like, he is amazing at some of the stuff he does. But, like, if you don't know who this man is, anyone listening, go look up some funny clips of Brennan Lee Mulligan, and you will understand completely what I mean about, like, I would kill to sit in, just not even be a part of the campaign, just sit in the same room and watch this going on. And a lot of the other people who are on Dimension 20 have been on Game Changer, like Ali Beardsley and Zach Oyama are two people I love. I actually saw Zach Oyama was on Reno 911. Saw a clip of that the other day, and I was like, that's cool. But
Okay.
they're all
That show's still
they're
going?
fun, cute, funny people. It's so nice to see them have a good time. So I think I am gonna start watching Dimension 20, because I see so many good clips.
Okay. Go for it. As long as
I just wanted to bring
not...
that up because Dropout TV is really cool, and they've even put on their Twitter, in regards to Netflix's whole no password sharing, you should share your password to Dropout TV with your friends. Like, they've said that, and I love that because I agree, absolutely, share the love.
I do also respect all these content creators that are going out of their way to make their own streaming platforms lately. I think I would mention the other one, but I'm pretty sure we should probably get paid to do that. So for now, I'll just say there's a lot of them out there.
Hey, Dropout TV, if you want to sponsor us, we'll do ads for you.
Sure, yeah.
We would love to.
It's D&D
and I think
related.
we fit your niche.
I guess I'd sell out for them. Damn it, Aubrey.
We fit your niche, although neither one of us are dropouts.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I have had so much fantasy in related content in my life that I guess, like, the weird podcast I listen to usually end up being, like, more sci-fi. But there actually is a YouTube channel called The Third Wheel, and they do a show called Thrilling Intent, and it is a long-going YouTube Pathfinder homebrew series.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of Pathfinder.
And it's just run by 4 and then 3 friends, because one of them leaves the show at some point just because they got busy with actual professional work. And transitioned, I believe. I don't know if I'll keep that in, because I don't think that that's super important to it, but that's some information
I just
from
think
you. I think that's just they go.
There's so much D&D related content now. I wish the people that didn't get this, to 2023 and were big D&D people, I wish that they could see that, like, this is like a mainstream thing that people think is cool now, and look how many people do this and how much, like, shit there is in the world to, like, share and show people how to play the game. Because I feel like back in the day, before computers, you're having to ask your homie, what the fuck does this shit mean? Instead of Googling, somebody explain,
Yeah, as long as it doesn't create a situation where there is a person thinking that Matt Mercer is the only person that knows how to run a D&D campaign, because that does happen sometimes.
No, like I said, I love Brennan Lee Mulligan, and that's why I bring him up. Like, Matt Mercer is really, he's cool too, like, don't get me wrong.
Matt Mercer is a storyteller.
Brennan Lee Mulligan is my Matt Mercer.
Sure. I'll take it. I guess I just like the awkward ones more because I feel like you get a lot. Like, I don't
got
know.
a soft spot for them ginger men.
I know. Well, for me,
he's also being so theatrical and dramatic. Love that.
For me, it's a lot more about diving into situations where you kind of just have to figure it out on the spot instead of like writing.
Yeah.
Like a 30-page novel for each session. But, you know, both are reasonable, both make sense, and I cannot begrudge them. Anyway, do you want me to tell you the historical timeline of these dice and when they came to be, or are you bored by this and want to talk about your thing now?
I'm kind of curious. Are they come at different times?
This wasn't
like a set invented for Dungeons and Dragons. This came separately.
Oh no.
Okay. Tell me about this. Then.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Tell me about this then.
Tell me what we're talking about.
This. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. This is from a website called Bombard Games. It's a history. Okay. It's just a page about the history of dice. The first D6 may have been in prehistoric times. Knucklebones was a prehistoric form of gambling, trying to put a firm date on the cube.
The D6 comes before a fucking D. Oh no, wait. D6 is the normal dice.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Okay,
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, wait, another dice came before the normal dice? No, the normal dice came first. Okay.
It came in the form of knucklebones, where firm date on the cube would roll. It's around 5000 BC, somewhere maybe before it. Probably people use real ass bones, but that's not on this page, so I can't confirm.
I also believe it's BCE now, before the Common Era.
Oh. Well, fucking this
instead of before Christ.
Okay, well, this website better update its freaking terms, because that's what it says.
No, I think pretty much everybody still uses BC, like, because we're just all in the habit.
It just means the before part. Anyway,
before the one part of the Bible, you know.
Around 3500 BC was the D4. To get a true historical date on the first D4, we would probably need to go back to the time of the royal game of roughly 5,000 or so.
ER?
Yeah. No, UR.
Oh, like Urkel.
2 D4 were used in to move the pieces on the board. I think you rolled the D4 to move your pieces on the... that's how much you got to move. Interesting.
You think the first person to, like, show people a D4 would be like, we're gonna roll this little pyramid. They were like... Are you fucking stupid?
I mean, that's how I felt whenever someone showed that to me, so probably.
No, me too. I was like, why the fuck is there a triangle dice?
It doesn't make that much sense, but I mean, to be fair, there are things that deal very little damage, so you have to have them.
Yeah, it's fair.
So then, I'm sorry, my cat is
you're
doing
fine.
litter box things. Has she been going for long?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Excuse us while Quinoa takes a shit. You done, little lady?
Seems like it. She meowed.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So after a D4, what do we have?
In around 300 BC to 200 AD, we have the D20 and the D12. Both Egyptians and Romans knew of and made D20. The Egyptians probably had the first few hundred years. The Romans had the 2nd century in AD. That would put, about 2,000 years old this die is. Were Egyptians really... the Egyptians had the D4. The Romans did not recreate that.
Of course, the Egyptians had the D4. They were like, this is Egyptian dice.
Sorry,
pyramids.
The D12. The D12.
Oh.
Wow, Aubrey. Glad I just got to expose you with that.
Damn. I mean, it would have been so fitting, though. They built the pyramids, so they also built the pyramid dice.
But apparently, the D12 was most likely used for divine purposes. It was a, it also the D12 would allow representation of the heavens and the moons, so the months of the year. So like the D12 was the original astrological symbol. You roll this to see what fuck if you're an Aries or some shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Apparently so.
I wonder when they decided that was baloney.
Probably about 200 AD, whenever they killed all of them.
Yeah. Anyways.
1283 AD, that's very specific, is the D8. The Libro de los Juegos, Book of Games. Probably said the last word wrong. The text is a...
Yeah, it was Spanish.
Is a treatise that addresses the playing of 3 games and includes the use of 7 and 8-sided die in order to speed up the play in chess variants. The invention of these dies were created by Alfonso X the Castile.
There are variants of chess?
I guess.
I can barely keep the rules to regular chess straight.
Listen, we were bored for a long time. You think that movies were the first things to get remade?
No, but I'm just like surprised because I'm like, there's so much already, like so many endless possibilities and strategies in chess. Why do you need a variant?
I don't know.
Like, watch the Queen's Gambit. We don't need variants. There's already so much at play.
Okay, nerd.
I mean, to be fair,
Nerd.
I will admit I did not like I knew some of the rules of chess when I was younger, but I always preferred checkers. It's easier. And Queen's Gambit made me want to learn chess, and so that's me and my partner did that for a while, where we had like a phone app to play chess, and when we would like travel, that's what we would do, like to waste time is just play each other. I think I only beat him once.
Yeah.
But he's a lot better at that. He's been playing for a lot longer than me.
Yeah. I've played for a long time, but I've never learned it. I've played
When I play chess, I feel like if anyone's ever seen the Bluey episode Chest, which is it's so cute that it's named Chest instead of chess.
Bluey on our podcast, Aubrey.
Yeah, you know what I do? I do because it's really
cute.
cute.
Talking about Bluey on our podcast. Next is the D10, which is from 1898. It is a U.S. patent for the poker dice. This is a poker dice. Wait. So, oh my god, I was holding up the D10 whenever I was trying to do the D12 for the divine purpose.
Okay, so the D12 is a poker dice?
No, the D12 is the heavenly die, and the D10 is a poker die, apparently.
Okay.
Issued November 22 that year by J.O. Yardley as game apparatus. More like barrels with sides leading to weighted results. But it did have 10 sides, so you could roll it. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Interesting. So it was originally used as a scammy poker device. Interesting. Well, nowadays I just beat goblin ass with it. So
Yeah.
In 1900, that year, the D12 was patented. Well, I don't fucking care about when they were patented. Get me past this. Oh, they have names though. You don't know the names.
They have names?
Yeah, on their patents they have names.
Sure.
Not all of them are as interesting. This one is for the D12, and they just literally called it dice. And then in 1904, the D10 was renamed from poker die to 10-sided die. And then in 1912, the D4 was renamed to Skeletal D4. And in 1917, the D8 was renamed to Rhomboid D8. They're getting
I love
fancy
how they didn't
with
rename them. They just put another name in front of the original name. And some of them don't make sense.
What are you talking about? These all make sense.
Skeletal D4.
Don't worry about
Skeletal.
it. Don't worry about it. 1925 is the D20, which was patented as D20 letters. I don't know. In 1961, the D20 was redistributed by Japan in a game.
Okay.
But it had the numbers 0 to 9 twice on it instead of being 1 to 20, weirdly enough.
Okay. Weird.
Okay, in 1963, the set of them all together, finally, it was patented as dice game with a tetrahedron die, which is specifically talking about the D20.
1964? Is that what you said?
1963.
1963, we get what we buy currently, like
yes.
the little.
When you buy a dice
But it wasn't
set, that's
for
what you buy.
D&D?
When you buy a dice set, you are buying a dice game with a tetrahedron die. That's what you're
Right,
buying.
but were people already in? When did D&D come around? Because I'm trying to wonder, like, was this kind of around the same time, or were they?
It looks like I'm almost there. 1971, D&D, the D20 was first used in a game called Tractics, made by Don Lowry. And I think a lot of people have heard of that. I've never played it. And then in 1977, D&D was made, and that's when the polyhedron set was included with something for the first time ever.
Okay, so it took about like a decade before, maybe almost 15 years before they were like, now we have a game that you can play with the dice set.
Yeah, from the looks of it.
That's interesting though. So it's literally just an amalgamation of dice from other games and other countries over time. Which, I mean, that's kind of fitting because D&D can be anywhere. And,
I mean, it is. I mean, D&D is essentially boiled down to a vessel for telling a story with your friends. And, it can very much vary in either way, but of course, like, the essence of human connection is sitting around and telling stories to one another. So it makes sense that it is a kind of it is a universal amalgamation of everything.
You could also say that's the essence of human history.
The essence of human gaming, that's for sure. Ayo!
Gamer moment.
Okay,
you know what? I think this is a good time for a commercial break.
Yeah, I gotta drink some more of my gamer subs.
Alright. Bye.
Is that how you call it? Ooh. That was your signal.
Alright. So I was on TikTok, as I usually am, in my mornings or on my breaks, and just scrolling, seeing what the word is, and I come across this clip that somebody had like duetted it, but I went to the original clip to watch
People
the
still
part
do
of the
that
interview.
on TikTok?
Yeah, you can. Some people turn it off, and some people like will delete the video afterwards. But this interview video hadn't been deleted because it was like a professional interview. I don't remember. Oh, she was speaking with Dr. Will Cole on the Art of Being Well podcast.
Okay, I don't know any of that.
I am not familiar with it either, but everyone is calling her the ultimate almond mom or almond mom final boss, almond mom realness, and almond moms suck. My mom was a little bit of an almond mom, and it's just kind of like moms who are obsessed with diet culture in like an unhealthy way. Like they make it about like health foods, but at the same time it's not healthy at all. And when Gwenith goes on to talk about what she eats in this interview, it becomes painfully clear that this is literally unhealthy. And like, I have struggled with an eating disorder in the past, as have so many other people, and that's a lot of the people leading this discussion, that this is
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy, and I'm telling you because I've had a doctor literally tell me this. So
Yikes.
she literally says that she pretty much eats nothing. She just has like cooked vegetables and
Okay.
bone broth.
Okay.
Bone broth is not a meal, it is flavored water. Soup can be a meal, but that is not a meal. Bone broth is not a meal. So it's insane her saying all this stuff. And like, if Gwyneth Paltrow's about 50, I believe, and if you look at her compared to other 50-year-old women who have eaten normally, maybe even are a little fat, they look a million times better than her. Gwyneth Paltrow, her face has aged like she is 70 years old. It
I haven't
is,
looked at it lately.
oh, it's rough. Like, I didn't realize how bad it was until I saw her in this interview, and I was like, girl, that's, you're not nourishing your body, and that's why you're aging so rapidly. Like, oh my God. Um, but I've been glad that this has opened up a conversation with everybody to say, hey, just so you know, this isn't healthy. Please don't follow what these celebrities say because this could really be bad for your life. Um,
Yeah.
but I will admit, I've always been a fan of Gwyneth Paltrow's movie work. Like, I love her in the Royal Tenenbaums, so it just like disappoints me whenever I see whatever new ridiculous stuff she's doing.
As
Because like
is another
goop,
one, every other one, you know.
she has that goop company, and they're really weird.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I'm pretty
but I
sure we
just,
did an episode on Goop Aubrey.
yeah, we maybe talked about it. Maybe when she did the candle thing. Um, I had seen somebody though talk about some of the wildest things Gwyneth Paltrow has said, so I wanted to look up and see if I could find more of them than just the couple this person listed off online. And I would like to do a dramatic reading for you. Um,
Okay.
so if you could cue the music, cue the music.
Okay, music. Okay, editor Mason, just cue the music.
Awesome. I would rather die than let my kid eat a cup of soup. Quote, Gwyneth Paltrow, August 2005.
Whew.
I don't really have drunk friends. My friends are kind of adult. They have a drink and they hold their liquor. I think it's incredibly embarrassing when people are drunk. It looks so ridiculous. I find it very degrading. Gwyneth Paltrow, quote, 2006.
That's a woman. That's a person. I said that.
This one is in regards to her daughter Apple. Apple says mummy instead of mommy. I don't mind that. If she starts saying basil and pasta the English way, that will drive me nuts. Quote, Gwyneth Paltrow, 2006. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. I am who I am. I can't pretend to be somebody who makes $25,000 a year. Quote, Gwyneth Paltrow, 2009.
Wow. That from that long ago, huh? That's wow. Why do people like this person? Hey Aubrey, should today's topic be about why people actually like Gwyneth Paltrow? Because I feel like that's what I don't know.
Wait, I have our final quote. It is, quote, I'd rather smoke crack than eat cheese from a tin. And then she goes on to say, you know, crack might be extreme, but spray cheese is not my kind of party.
Like I said before,
Quote from 2011.
bars.
Absolute bars, yeah.
Absolute bars.
Actually, I went to Dutch Bros the other day to get some coffee, and while I was waiting, the girl at the window said, who is a celebrity that you really hate? And I said, why? And she said, we're making a list. So I gave her the classic, for some reason, Robert Downey Jr. just rubs me the wrong way. Like,
Yeah, he
I
does.
just don't like that guy.
I
He's really
remember.
short. Short guys are usually angry and aggressive and not, emasculated by everything women do.
Shitter?
I think he's a short
get it.
king.
He's a short king.
And surprisingly, she didn't have that one on there though. But since I was still waiting, I said, "Who can you tell me who else is on the list?" Kanye was number one. as he should be. Hailey Bieber was number 2 because of the whole Hailey Bieber Selena drama. For the record, our podcast is #Team Selena.
When did I make that decision?
If you knew the situation, you would be Team Selena too.
Okay.
So I'll speak for you on that one.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then, like she said, like most of the Kardashians were on there, stuff like that, like people you would expect. But I was like, this is really fun. Like, that's what a fun thing to ask people. Who's a celebrity you hate? Just let us know. Oh, but guess what? The girl at the window, you want to know who she put on there? And immediately apologized after she said it?
Huh.
Meryl Streep.
Huh.
She said Meryl Streep, and I said, and she goes, I'm so sorry, I had to. And I was like, I love her though, but she's wonderful.
It's interesting. What was their reasoning? Did they give any?
I think she just doesn't like her. Like, and I get that. I mean, I don't really have a reasoning for Robert Downey Jr. I just don't like him, you know? So, like, I can't judge her for that because I've done it.
That's fair, but hasn't Meryl Streep, like, done stuff for the queer community, though? In a way? Has she or has she not? I actually don't know.
I believe so. She seems like a good ally, but let's double check that before we give her credit.
Mm-hmm. I give no credit at any point, at any time. Because I have no credit to bestow. I am...
The Human Rights Campaign actually honored her with the Ally for Equality Award.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd say she's done quite a bit.
So, maybe you need to...
She is a certified gay icon.
Yeah, so maybe you need to be inspecting this person that wrote Meryl Streep on that paper. Possibly.
Barista, you heard him. We're coming for you.
You're about to get canceled.
Ugh.
Which is really that's a fun full circle moment, because I'm pretty sure we talked about how cancel culture is becoming toxic in like the third episode of our podcast.
I agree, and I'm like I'm not trying to like I don't like Robert Downey Jr. I'm not trying to cancel him. Like, I don't like him, but he can still act. Like, he can do his job. It's not my business whether he gets jobs or not. I just don't have to watch his movies, you know?
At this point,
granted, every time somebody says they love him, I have to be like,
mm-hmm.
I just can't hold it in.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah. But, you know, I get it. Iron Man stans will never be able to accept my opinion.
I think I was just a young enough kid when I watched the Iron Man movie that I just thought I got caught up in the cool factor of it enough. Because I don't think I ever remembered liking any of the other superhero movies as much as I liked the Iron Man ones, which is, I think, why I liked Iron Man in the later movies.
I just feel like Iron Man is a Batman that you don't actually have any empathy for. Like, I feel bad for Bruce Wayne. I don't feel bad for Tony Stark. Like, Bruce Wayne had to watch his parents die in front of him as a kid. Tony Stark's just, like, I don't...
Well,
that's a topic for another time.
He did get kidnapped and locked in a cave for like 3 months that he had to, like, break his way out of. But that was... I don't know. I don't remember the movie very well.
Well, try solitary confinement for a year, buddy, okay?
It is fair. Bruce definitely got his badness at a very young age.
I'm just saying, as far as
I dropped the die.
Superheroes who are literally only superheroes because they're rich, Batman will always win out for me. And I don't even like Batman that much. I like everyone else in the Batman universe more than Batman. But I would still put him up there.
That is fair. But I
will say the Harley Quinn show is what made me start to like feel for Batman a little bit.
I guess, like, if anything, Iron Man is just kind of like if you combined Batman with his research and development guy into one person, and he's just always doing the experiments on himself instead.
What is this, Morbius?
No, now that's a good movie. I love that movie.
You know what? We've got to go, listeners. I can't have a Morbius discussion, and if I let him go, he's gonna go.
It's Morbin time.
All right. Bye. See you next week.